Hey guys, MTG Decks for Fun here, back with another deck tech. This time it's Kynaios and Tiro of Meletis. And so these guys are really fun. It's a 2/8 for 4, and at the beginning of your end step, you draw a card, and then each player may put a land from his or her hand into the battlefield. Then each opponent who didn't can draw a card. So I get to draw a card first, and then I get to put a land into play. The opponents get to choose which one they do. So this deck is kind of like a barbed group hug. There's a lot of stuff, so we've got, I think it's 3 islands, 3 mountains, 3 forests, and 3 plains. It's 12 basic lands, 3 for each. We have Command Tower, obviously. Reflecting Pool, Exotic Orchard, it's kind of on the fence, might be taken out. Windswept Heath, Terramorphic Expanse, because filtering's nice. So, I only have one of these, but I put it in. It's Scattered Grove. It's from the new set. It's really good. It's good, especially late game. You can just toss it away because you don't need land anymore. And then we have Canopy Vista, Prairie Stream. And then for Shocklands, we have Breeding Pool, Stomping Ground, Hollowed Fountain, Temple Garden. And then for the core set, I guess, lands, we have Sunpetal Grove, Glacial Fortress, Rootbound Crag, Hinterland Harbor, and then we have 2 filter lands. We have Flooded Grove and we have Firelit Thicket, and then we have one of the Kaladesh lands because they're pretty good actually, especially if you get it really early. So we have Botanical Sanctum, Crows and Verge, obviously for ramping, and it gets the lands with the keywords. Mirrored Landscape is really good. Blighted Woodland for ramp, Homeward Path in case people try to steal my things. And then we move on to the hug cards. So we have Howling Mine, which lets everybody draw an extra card. Temple Bell, everybody draws a card. Mine's Aglow, we all get to draw X cards, and everybody pays in mana. Collective Voyage, same thing with as Mine's Aglow, except this one is basic lands. Rites of Flourishing, everybody draws an additional card and can play an additional land. Tempt with Discovery, everybody can go get a land, and for every land that they get, I get another one. So if you're playing in a multiplayer game, it's really good. Then we have Edric, Spymaster of Tress. I wouldn't really say this is a hug card, but it sways people away from attacking me and attacking other people because you get to draw cards. Orzhov Advocist. Excuse me. At the beginning of your upkeep, each player may put 2 +1/+1 counters on a creature he or she controls. If a player does, creatures that player control can't attack you or a planeswalker you control until next turn. Again, making the creatures really big and swaying them not to attack you. And then we have Veteran Explorer. When he dies, search a library for 2 basic lands, put them on the battlefield tapped. Everybody searches for 2 basic lands, puts them in play tapped. Then everybody shuffles. Skinwinder over Eternal Witness in this particular deck because, again, you want to kind of make it seem like you're a group hug deck, and then you just kind of lop their head off when they're not paying attention. So Skinwinder lets 2 players, so me and another person of my choosing, return a card from their graveyard to their hand. And then we have just the other creatures. We have Kasali Pride Mage to get rid of enchantments and artifacts. We have Mercurial Chemister because I have like 40 of him and he's really fun. Progenitor Mimic to copy some creatures. Burnished Heart to ramp us out. Solemn to ramp us out. Stalker Tribe Elder to ramp us out. Courser Crewfix for life gain and to get rid of lands so we don't have to draw them. And now, this is a little sneak preview. This deck is not done. This deck is nowhere near done. but it's going to be kind of like a little Enchantress theme type thing. So we have Eidolon of Blossoms, which is the first one, which whenever this or another enchantment comes into play, I can draw a card. Then we have Green Warden of Murasa to get our stuff back. Perplexing Chimera. It's kind of a fun interaction card. Screw people around. Move their spells to you. Then they move your spells to them. It gets... oh, sorry, I'm not feeling too great. It gets their... it gets the interactions and gets people talking and having fun. It's just one of those cards that enables some pretty funny scenarios. Kazul, Tyrant of Cliffs, to keep me from dying. Selfless Squire, this card is ridiculous. So when Selfless Squire enters the battlefield, prevent all damage that will be dealt to you this turn. And then whenever damage that will be dealt to you is prevented, put that many 1/1 counters on Selfless Squire. So he just gets bigger and bigger. He's really good in like a fog deck. So that Feldegriff fog deck that's floating around, you know who you are. That'd be really good in there. And then we have, I believe, yeah, we have just a couple more creatures. Windborn Muse. Creatures can attack in the... They pay 2 for each creature. Blazing Archon. Creatures just can't attack. And then we get to the enchantments that I have so far. So we have Aura Shards. Destroys artifacts and enchantments whenever a creature comes into play. Detention Sphere. Gets rid of pesky things. Assemble the Legion. Just make a big army and swing. Hoofprints of the Stag to make some big elemental creatures with flying. They're pretty much just like angels. Oblivion Ring, get rid of problem permanents. Ghostly Prison, to keep them from attacking me. Prison Term, to get rid of pretty much the commander. Makes it useless, basically. Spiritual Asylum, sorry. Creatures and lands you control can be the target of spells or abilities. Whenever a creature I control attacks, sacrifice Spiritual Asylum. Kismet, all of target players, creatures, lands, and artifacts come into play tapped. So this has been errated. This is opponents, creatures, lands, and artifacts come into play tapped, instead of just target opponent. Spirit of Safety, they can attack unless they pay X, which is the number of enchantments that I control. Sigil of the Empty Throne, whenever you cast an enchantment spell, put a 4/4 white angel creature token with flying into the battlefield, so that gets out of hand really quick. Then we have Propaganda, it's another Ghostly Prison, and then we have Take Possession. I run this over a couple other things because it's enchant a permanent, and it has split second, so they can't respond. And then our little package of hate, we have Decimate, destroy an artifact, creature, enchantment, and land. You have to have a target for all 4 things before you can cast it. Sylvan Reclamation, exile up to 2 target artifacts and or enchantments with basic land cycling. This card is insane. Catch and Release. So, catches gain control of a target permanent until end of turn. Untap it, it gains haste. Each player sacrifices an artifact, a creature, an enchantment, a land, and a planeswalker for release. So you take their stuff and you sacrifice their stuff. And they're really sad because they lost something. Scour from Existence, exile target permanent. Can't really go wrong with that card. Card's ridiculous. Blasphemous Act, obviously to wipe the board. Swords to Plowshare, removal, Oblation, removal with kind of like a political thing. Tragic Arrogance, this card is insane in Commander, because you get to choose what they keep. And it's just ridiculous. Beast Within, destroy a permanent, they get a 3/3 green beast. Can't go wrong there. Coastal Breach. So this is one of the new cards with the new keyword, which is Undaunted. And you return all non-land permanents to your owner's hand. So if you're playing with 4 people, that'd be 5 people. So you would get 4 off of the 7. So it would only cost 3. It's insane. We have I think 4 counter spells in here. So we have Render Silent, just because silencing them is really good. Arcane Denial, again with the political thing. Dissipate, to get rid of Eldrazi, basically. Rewind, because it's a free counterspell. Insidious Will. So this card, I believe this card is really good, because it has more than one use. So you can counter a spell, you can redirect the spell, or you can copy it. For 4 mana, that's pretty good. Cultivate. Obviously to ramp. Kodama's Reach. Cultivate, basically. Explosive Vegetation. 2 basic lands, put them in the battlefield tapped, and shuffle your library. Reviving Melody. I can return a creature from my graveyard to my hand, and or return an enchantment from my graveyard to my hand. So it's a 2-for-1, which is really good. Seeds of Renewal, again, has Undaunted, and I can return 2 cards from my graveyard to my hand, and then exile Seeds of Renewal. So Treacherous Terrain has won me many a games. The card we talked about earlier, the one that lets you copy a spell, you'd play this late game when they have like 15 lands out, and then you copy it, and they just die. They don't see it coming, they don't expect it, it just kind of happens, and the person's just trying to figure out what went wrong. Then we have Venser's Journal. This card is crazy. So I played a game with somebody last week, and this got me up to like 500 life, and they just couldn't do anything, because I just kind of locked them out of the game. Then we have Brainstorm, just for some card draw. Faith's Reward, this card's crazy good. You wrath the board, you can destroy all permanents, and then you play this. And you get just everything back, and everybody else just kind of sits there and cries. Then we have Fog, obviously for a little bit of protection. Benefactor's Drought. So, I'm on the fence about this card. It hasn't done anything yet. But I can think of so many scenarios in my head where this card would be ridiculous. So I don't know whether it's going to stay or it's going to go. I haven't figured it out yet. But it says, untap all creatures, and until end of turn, whenever a creature an opponent controls blocks, I draw a card. And then I get to draw a card anyway. And then another way to win is somebody gets me really low, then I just switch life totals. And again, it's another politics thing. Somebody that's been attacking you, you can be like, I'll give you the highest life total if you stop attacking me, kind of thing. And Commander's all about politics. Let's be real. So, yeah, that was my... I call them K and T because their names are just... I don't even know. But that was my EDH deck. I hope you guys enjoyed. Leave a comment below. If you did, give me a like. It really helps. And if you're new to the channel, don't forget to subscribe.